Hi there. Welcome back to another episode. Why You Worried About It? I'm Lindsay Bush. I'm HR Director with Country Crossroads Counseling, and I'm here with
Hey guys, I'm Susie Arbo. I'm a licensed professional counselor. We are on this journey to a better you. We are always looking to improve and grow as humans and be the best that we can be.
That's
So
right.
it's
And
kind
I
of
love
fun.
it. Yes. And thank you so much. We've had so much feedback already. People that tell us that they listen to it when they're in the car. We try to keep these short and sweet because we know we're all busy. And I know I can't do anything longer than like a solid 20 minutes or my mind's already wandering. So we try to keep them short and sweet. But if you ever want to hear anything, please let us know. We would love to know. And we would love to have you on our show. We love it when we have guests.
We totally do. We love gas. And we love our topic that we're talking about
Yes.
today because I just feel like it's a good reminder for all of us as humans, just remembering that our attitude and how we come off to other people is so contagious.
Mhm.
Right. And I just did this really good book. I'm working on it right now. And one of the things that it kind of just jogged my memory, just thinking back about how much just even just like a simple little interaction that you have with somebody, you can tell a whole lot about them. And so I'm going to give everybody a little scenario here. But if we were to walk up to somebody and to say, how are you doing today? And maybe they responded to you like with kind of like a grim look on their face, and they're like, I'm okay, right? You already maybe could come up with a whole list of different things of what maybe that person was going through. Maybe they're going through a hard time financially with their family, maybe they're depressed, maybe they just have a bad attitude, maybe there's something else going on, but that you're kind of their whole demeanor, you feel that. And then maybe the next person you greet, you come up and you say, "Hey, how are you today?" And they're like, "I'm great. I'm fantastic. How are you doing?" You know, and instantly you can feel their energy and their moves, and it lifts you up to think, oh
Mhm.
gosh, that's so great that that person is having a great day. And it's just so infectious. And since I've been thinking about this is about a week and a half ago. I have been watching people and I have been observing how they greet people and how, like, how they respond. And it's so true of people's like attitudes and just how they live their life in general.
Mhm. And it is funny that you say that because which are the ones, and I'm just going to ask you when you've been watching it, which are the ones that always end up probably standing by themselves?
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
not, people aren't flocking to them and wanting to, if they're happy and things like that. I think about that a lot too. Like you feel bad about the people that are kind of standing over and look fussy, but is it their attitude? Is it their energy? Is it their, the way they're coming off? Like, are they grumpy? Like people don't want to surround themselves with that. Typically, some people do, and then you get a whole pity party going on. But for the most part, people want to flock to that happy, energetic, like good, positive feeling. And so I've noticed that too lately, actually. And I haven't even read this book, but there's a couple people that sometimes it's like they'll pull off to the side and you're like, oh, well, maybe if you didn't have that look on your face, people would want to come talk to you.
yeah. Oh, for sure, for sure. It's interesting because there's like a individual that I see probably 3 or 4 times a week, just normal kind of interactions. And every time I see him, he always says, "Michael, how are you doing? Whatever." And he's like, "Not too bad." And I'm kind of like, and I've heard this for years because I see him all the time, and I'm always thinking, okay, and now it's kind of all making sense. Like that's kind of just, kind of how
Yeah.
his mindset and that kind of stuff. And then, of course, I was in Minnesota this weekend with my family. And if you know my mom, and what she's like the most positive human that
Hmm.
radiates energy and just positivity and smiles. And she's always just smiling and she's so glad to see everybody. It doesn't matter if you're a stranger,
Hmm.
but just that energy you just feel. And I've also, so this is interesting, but I'm presenting today actually at the Lake of the Ozarks, but I added a slide in my presentation for today about smiling. And part of the stuff I've been learning lately too is how smiling is a natural stress reduction kind of agent, if you will. And did you know that children on average smile 400 times a day?
Hmm.
And do you guys have any idea of what the average adult smiles?
Oh boy. I'd say much less.
Yes, 15 to 20 times a day. The
Oh,
typical, isn't that sad? And then
that's
it
terrible.
says Yeah, it says if you're a happy adult, like have a positive attitude, you smile around 50 times a day. So a little better, but I just kind of thought it's something
Hmm.
that's so easy to do. You know, we actually use less muscles to smile than to frown. It's like 17 muscles to smile and 43 muscles to frown and
Listen, and
whatnot.
I need work on my wrinkles anyways. So
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So I don't know, it's just something little and you know, are we all the time going to be happy and in a great mood? No, like life is hard and we talk about on the show all the things that can be really hard. But this is just something, kind of it's something little that we can work on as humans to kind of bring more joy and bring more enthusiasm and, charisma into people's lives. Something little we
yeah.
can do.
I love that. And I think it's totally like important to remember how you're perceived and how your energy is accepted out there in the world. Or you might think that you just have a million thousand things going on, but so does the person next to you probably. So just remember like meet them all with grace and you have a choice in how you think about everything. So it could be the worst day ever and it absolutely could be, but why waste all day or like all those thoughts and all those moments that could be, you could switch it around and maybe like you say, I know you've taught so many good like coping skills on what to do with that stuff. It is important to worry about a lot of things, but maybe not all day every day. Put it away, worry about it later, and really be in the moment, be with the people, and see how you're kind of presenting yourself to the world, because I guarantee you don't even realize you're doing it if you're out there being just a Debbie Downer. Like, let's challenge you to turn that frown upside down here, friends, and let's just be happier with a smile. Make somebody
Mhm.
else's day. And I have to
Absolutely.
share, yeah, I have to share something. This is so random. I just bought a new phone case, had a whole situation, and literally I had no idea we were talking about this. Susie, you maybe text me about 15 minutes ago and said, "Hey, let's talk about this today." I was like, "I love it. I love smiling." I got a new phone case, and you probably can't see it, but it says "Smile every day" on my
Oh
phone
my
case. Isn't that
gosh.
funny? I just got it like yesterday, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's hilarious!" So
That there must be something in at the like universe too, because my friend Tiffany, our friend Tiffany,
yeah,
we were just talking yesterday about that she was talking about how she's been working on smiling more and how she comes off onto people too. So there must be something going around.
that's right.
But I love the positivity. When you were talking, there's another little statistic that I want to share with you. I learned this actually from John Maxwell, of course. I love John Maxwell, but he said 86% of what we think about is ourself, and only 14% is what we think about other people. So like we really can get in our own head and we have a lot of power on our feelings and we have all of our feelings for a reason. You know, when we're angry, when we're sad, when we're whatever, their feelings teach us stuff and we should have all of those feelings. But what I want to always encourage people to do is that feelings always change. And so don't stay stuck in that feeling. Do something to improve your mood, whether it's your own therapy, whether it is going for a walk, moving your body, saying a prayer to God, using some of those coping skills, read something positive. Like there's a lot of things to do to get yourself in a better mindset.
Mhm.
And so I just always want to encourage you so that you don't have to stay stuck. And a lot of times too, like attitudes and whatnot, like sometimes are ingrained like early on. Like maybe if you grew up in a family that had, maybe you had a really negative parent, that was constantly like, oh, don't do that, or you'll never do this or whatever. And that was kind of in your mindset. Like that can really play a number on somebody. But when you become an adult, you get to decide, like that's the one thing that you can choose to do is to work on your mindset. And it is a constant kind of thing that you can work on and you can improve. You don't have to stay in that negative Nancy kind of spot.
No, I love that. And it's so real and so true. I've had some pretty hard conversations with people lately and it's the same thing. It's everybody has stuff going on. It's just how you choose to deal with it. And I mean, you can get stuck in it. I myself can get stuck in hard things, but it's nobody else's job to pull you out. It's your own job. It's we are, especially if you're listening to us, you're probably an adult. If you are a kiddo, this is awesome. But I mean, I sometimes I'm like, just stop feeling sorry for yourself too, right? Like we gotta take that small step forward and okay, it's a thing. It really is just like our problems at work. Okay, there's a problem, but what's the solution? What are we gonna do about it? Because if you spend all that time worrying about a problem or worrying about what's going wrong, all you're doing is spinning your wheels. You're not making a change, you're not changing anything, and the total meaning of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. So let's try something different. And it could be just as small as smiling. I mean, I love it because we all are capable.
Yes. Yep. Yep. We are. We totally are. And Lindsay, we always love to have a little call to action on the show because we always want people to grow and to learn, and we're working on this stuff too. And so, like, I've really been aware and intentional about how I'm looking at people and how I am making eye contact, and especially lately, really just how am I coming across? And I think we should challenge everybody listening. Like, how are you greeting people? Are
Mhm.
you making them feel special and that you're excited to see them today and all of that? And I just feel like that might be a good little challenge for everybody.
I really love that. And I think it's so funny. If anybody knows me, they've probably heard me share this story because I used to talk a lot at my old job too. But I used to have so much trouble like looking people in the eye. And it drove me crazy because I met somebody that would never look me in the eye. And I'm like, is that what I look like when I won't look at someone? Like, I don't like that. So I started challenging myself, like internally. I was like, okay, I got to stop looking at the floor or looking at everything else. So now I joke that I will like greet the greeters at Walmart. I don't wait for them to tell me hi. I'm telling them hi as I roll in. Like I might as well just get a job there, but it's so easy to me now. It's not uncomfortable. I love it. I love, and I mean, some people might look at you like you're crazy, but most of the time, 9 times out of 10, people smile back. They like your energy and they love to see that even if they're having a bad day, they love to see that you're having a good day. So I just love that. And I will share one more little thing. I went to a track meet this last weekend and I had my little 10-year-old with me and a buddy. They were so cute, like their sweet little innocence. They decided they were bored out of their minds, right? We were walking around. All they started doing was telling people hi and trying to get them to give them a high five and saying, I just want to share something happy today. Like they were doing this. And it like made my heart so happy to see all these people like smiling and being like, oh my gosh, I love that. And of course, they were having a competition to see how many high fives they could get. But it was the cutest thing to watch people just radiate joy when these two little boys are just smiling and giving high fives. Like it was so fun.
I love to see that, and kids having fun and
Mhm.
doing those fun things, and not on their phones. Like
Yes.
anytime we can like do that kind of thing. I love that you shared that. I was driving in the city the other day, and these kids were waiting. It was like probably one of the final days of school, and they're all on the bus stop. And every car that went by, they would do like the honk,
They
pull the
wanted
honk
to honk.
deal. And the
I love
first
that.
couple cars that went, they weren't honking, and I was like,
Mm.
these kids. So I gave them a big honk, and they went crazy, and they were laughing, and I was like, that's so fun. You know what I mean? Like
But
we need
what
to
it
have more
really
fun
did
in life.
was probably give you so much joy too, right?
I love to do. I was
Exactly.
smiling.
Like the
Yeah.
kids loved it and they probably moved right on, but it's like you're talking about it a week later and like how fun
Mhm.
is that? Like how much just joy you can get from just those small things, small little silly stuff. I love that.
Yes, for sure. For sure. So hopefully today we planted some seeds and we're all about just, positive things and we want to just know anything from you guys as far as if you ever have other topics for us or you ever want to be a guest on our show. We've had so many good things happen already and we're just so blessed to be able to do this and we love you all too. So
Yes, that's right.
mm.
Please follow us. The best way to follow us, because we're not that tech savvy yet, we'll get there. But Facebook, follow us on Facebook. It's Country Crossroads Counseling. And we're always putting stuff out there. We love to do stuff in the communities, in the rural communities, and always doing events and things. We want to get mental health out to the masses. And then you can always find us on our website, countrycrossroadscounseling.com. There's emails on there if you want to chat with us, send us any ideas, topics, maybe even stuff you don't like. Let us know. We're here for all of it. So we appreciate you being here with us today, and we hope you find our next one.